Israel is going to collapse. A passage on the Egyptian Gaza border was made after President Biden yesterday put pressure on the Israelis to do so. To the strong opposition and outcry of families in Israel that have hostages kept by Hamas in the enclave. The convoy of humanitarian aid is supposed to start tomorrow under the agreement, but so far they agreed only to deliver 20 trucks. The fear, not only in Israel but also in Egypt, is that Hamas will enjoy this humanitarian aid, and that's why they are trying to do it brick by brick to see if they will be able to add more trucks. Rishi Sunak today, President Biden yesterday, Chancellor Schultz the day before, Emmanuel Macron tomorrow, maybe after tomorrow, and 90% of the European Parliament, in a very unprecedented way, expressed support for Israel. And this is something that would not last forever, because they are urging strain. However, the Israelis would intensify their bombardment with Gaza in order to soften Hamas' position and be able to shift troops and air force to the northern border in order to confront Hezbollah in the days to come, destroy Hamas completely. They may be able to cripple the military power of Hamas in a very substantial way. They would not be able to kill the ideology of Hamas that champions the destruction of Israel under the inspiration of Iran. They would not be able to even touch the popularity that Hamas enjoys in the Arab street, including in the West Bank. And the West Bank is going to be part of this united Arab resistance against Israel. So the idea of being able to destroy Hamas is far-fetched. The Israeli military admits it will take a few months. And not only that, despite the fact that so far the Israelis managed to assassinate about 11 senior Hamas people in Gaza, including one who is the commander of the armed forces, and yesterday the widow of Mr. Rantisi, who was one of Hamas founders, who was assassinated himself about 20 years ago. They managed to hit many senior Hamas officers, but this does not mean that the military infrastructure of Hamas that exists mostly in tunnels would be severely hurt by the Israeli bombardment. Hence, going with the idea of a ground invasion. But I don't think that the ground invasion is imminent. And if it does happen, after all the VIPs would clear the way, if it doesn't happen, it may take some limited forms. But I would be very surprised if the Israelis would be tempted to go after Hamas in the tunnel, especially when they know that the hostages are kept there by Hamas terrorists.
He's Middle East correspondent Dr. Blackhead there. Now, Jarvis Forrest, Representative Jim Jordan plans to force a third vote on his bid to become Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. And that's after his fellow Republicans rejected the backup plan to allow acting Speaker Patrick McHenry to run the House for a month or more. The Trump-backed right-wing lawmaker decisively lost votes in the chamber on Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, the lower chamber of Congress will hold another vote today after being without a leader in the past 17 days.
One of Donald Trump's former campaign lawyers, Sidney Powell, was pleaded guilty in the Georgia election interference case in Fulton County, just days before jury selection for a trial was scheduled to start. Powell was charged alongside a former president for conspiring to overturn the 2020 election result in the state of Georgia, entered into a plea agreement to become the second defendant to plead guilty to misdemeanor charges and cooperate with prosecutors in the criminal case.
Around the U.S. correspondent Eric Han has more from Washington.
As we know, her trial and the jury selection for her trial was scheduled to get underway in less than 24 hours. And so now we learned that she has entered this plea agreement, which she will plead to several misdemeanors, and she will serve 6 years probation in Georgia. She also is scheduled to provide additional testimony and information about the other co-defendants and this case, and that is certainly what's perhaps most concerning for Donald Trump as well as the others that are in this case as well. In addition to all of this, she also has to provide an apology letter to the Secretary of State for her efforts to try to overturn the election, as well as pay restitution to the state of Georgia. So this was a massive, massive bombshell, and already now she becomes the second person in this entire case. We know there are 19 co-defendants. She becomes the second co-defendant to actually plead guilty. Certainly the